All right, there you have it. Now, joining me, we have Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, who is looking very dapper in that Wisconsin sweatshirt. Senator Johnson, welcome back to the show. Just a comment. I know it's too easy, but just a comment. When Biden came into office, the economy was not in ruins. Inflation is being caused by excess spending and money printing. It isn't corporate greed. I just wondered, knowing our conversations in the last 10 or 12 years, if you had any thoughts on either Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, Senator Ron Johnson.
Well, Larry, before I answer that, I think the folks here in Chilton, Wisconsin want to say hi. I guess I really wanted to say hi.
I appreciate that.
So, Larry, it's so unfortunate. I mean, President Biden took office. The economy was just ready to roar. It already was. It was roaring back. But unfortunately, he embarked on this massive, out-of-control deficit spending, sparked the inflation right now, and we've talked about this. A dollar that you held at the start of the Biden administration is now only worth 88.3 cents, and that is before the market devaluation because of a couple quarters of shrinkage of our economy. So again, it was poised to have a strong, probably inflation, not free, but low inflation economy, and he blew it. Socialism doesn't work. As Margaret Thatcher says, sooner or later you run out of people's money, but down that path you create inflation, crushing everybody, particularly, by the way, seniors on a fixed income. So it's unfortunate. We have to stop this agenda. We need to win this election.
What do you think about the argument that it's corporate greed that has caused the high inflation?
That's nonsense. It's a $1.9 trillion massive COVID relief package. You know, the $700 billion wasn't even scheduled. Some of it is far out to be spent as 2028. So that was a liberal wish list of spending. That's what sparked it. Way too many dollars chasing too few goods. And one thing we don't focus enough on is what their war on fossil fuel has contributed to inflation as well. When candidate Biden said he wanted to end fossil fuel, I mean, that is so detached from reality. 80% of our economy is powered by fossil fuel. That's not going to end anytime soon. But in their quest to end fossil fuel, they've purposefully driven the cost of gasoline, energy higher. That's, of course, forcing people. They wanted to force people to buy electric vehicles, but it's sparked record high gasoline prices. So people can't fill up their gas tank. People can't fill up their grocery cart. And hopefully voters will hold them accountable here on Tuesday.
What do you think about this? There's a good piece by my friend James Freeman of the Wall Street Journal just out this afternoon, at least online. He's saying your opponent, Mr. Mandela, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, is touting a policy that would reduce the eligibility age for Medicare from 65 years old to 50 years old. All right. And that, of course, has to be financed. And that basically he said, well, the way we're going to finance it is the wealthy will pay their fair share. You may have heard this on the campaign trail or in the debates from Mandela Barnes. We're going to go to 50 on the Medicare eligibility, and we're going to finance it by the wealthy paying their fair share. What's your response, Senator Ron Johnson?
Well, again, I'll go back to Margaret Thatcher. As sooner or later you run out of other people's money. I think that's already happened here. You know, my opponent, I don't think ever had a job in the private sector. Does not have a clue how an economy works. Never created a job for himself. All he has is hollow left-wing rhetoric, and we see what that hollow left-wing rhetoric has done to our economy, what it's done to all of us. But again, I'll point out, the people getting crushed by inflation, seniors on a fixed income, people at the lower end of the income spectrum, the very people that Democrats purport to want to help, they are crushing them in their economy.
What do you think today's job report, which surprised Wall Street on the upside, wage growth a little slower, jobs themselves a little slower, but still pretty strong. The Federal Reserve has increased its target rate by nearly 4 full percentage points, essentially from 0 to 4 since the beginning of the year. The nation's money supply, which was growing rapidly at about 30%, has come all the way down. In fact, the last 6 months, it's actually turned negative. So the Fed has done all these things to restrain the economy, but the economy is still expanding. The unemployment rate up a tick at 3.7%. Labor force participation falling just a little bit. But essentially, it's a solid report. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, these aren't jobs being created. They're jobs being filled. There's such an unmet need for workers. And so, inflation's caused by too many dollars chasing too few goods. We ought to focus on the too few goods. We go back to supply side. Make sure that entrepreneurs have the incentive to invest and create new jobs and create new products and create new services. We ought to have more goods, more services for all those dollars to chase. And that would also be, that's part of that equation we always forget about. It's quite honestly what Liz Truss, I think, was trying to do in the UK and just wasn't able to pull it off. We have to focus on the supply side. We have to create more goods, more services. That means lower taxes, lower regulation, and a lot less deficit spending.
Why do you think it is that we have seen this incredible mismatch where the number of job openings is just about twice the number of people who are out of work, who are unemployed? So it's a complete mismatch. Small businesses are very concerned about this, as are other businesses. It's actually hard to get skilled labor. It's actually hard to get unskilled labor. As you approach your victory and the Senate Republican takeover, can you think of things that would help to ameliorate this jobs mismatch and get more people back into the labor force?
Well, part of the problem, a lot of this deficit spending was spent making it possible for people not to re-enter the workforce. I mean, they have enough benefits, and they figure they can still sit on the sidelines. The other tragedy of our open border, it delayed our ability to actually institute a functioning legal immigration system. Our birth rates aren't keeping up with what we're going to need in terms of labor supply, even to grow at 3%. So we need a functioning legal immigration system. But, Joe Biden set that back probably many, many years because he opened up the border. Now we have this crisis down there. So, again, no matter what policy you're talking about that Joe Biden and Democrats have enacted, it has weakened America. It has weakened our economy. It's just made things a whole lot worse.
All right. Senator Ron Johnson in Wisconsin with a very spiffy-looking T-shirt and a great crowd behind you.